I've been getting a lot of questions from my followers about what equipment to choose, whether a particular machine is good, and whether to go with rotary or induction. Sometimes people already bought equipment and wonder if they made the right choice. In this video, I'll explain what to look for when choosing equipment, share what I use, and give some tips that I hope will help. I'm Alex Kutcher. Let's get started. First off, I want to say I'm not sponsored by any manufacturers, so everything I'll be talking about is from my personal experience and has no ties to any promotional stuff. This is just my choice. I like the quality, and I'm not influenced by anyone. Let's dive right into the machines, which I think is the main topic and needs to be addressed first. Currently, I do all my work with the same machine, an old Cheyenne Spirit, a rotary machine. Thanks to its ergonomics, this tattoo machine is comfortable and light for me. It's a wired machine, but there are tons of batteries on eBay with different outputs, and after buying 2 power blocks that cost me just a few bucks, I've been using them successfully for years. I had to do a bit of DIY since the machine and block didn't fit together perfectly. The machine works perfectly for me in terms of shading, so I see no reason to spend money to replace something good with something new. Occasionally, I also use a rotary pen from Quadrone. Like all tattoo artists, I have some equipment I used a while back before settling on the Spirit. It's now lying around in my work desk, including a few coil machines and rotaries. When it comes to choosing machines for beginners, it's a very common but confusing question because it's hard to recommend something to someone who doesn't yet know what they want to do or if they can do it. Everything depends on what you want to focus on, and you should choose tools based on the style and type of work you plan to do. Each machine has its strengths. Some are hard,
Meow.
some are soft, some are great for coloring, and some are perfect for lining. I have a video on my channel where I go into detail about choosing machines, and I'll link it in the description of this video for anyone interested. You can definitely say that a lot of pros are using pens now, but I know folks who still do all their lining with induction machines, and there's no denying it. Coil machines are better for lines compared to rotary machines. However, the coil engine is becoming outdated, and now we're seeing the market introduce hybrid technologies that combine the efficiency of coils but with the lightweight and minimal vibration of rotary machines. When it comes to coloring, coils do a good job too, but I prefer using rotaries because they're much lighter, quieter, and less damaging to the skin. Also, if we're talking about rotary pens, they're super convenient because you can easily rotate them in your hand to change the needle's angle of attack against the skin, which isn't as easy with traditional rotary machines. Comfort significantly impacts your work speed, especially at the start of your tattooing career. Another important factor is the stroke of the rotary machine. The stroke is the needle's movement amplitude, and if a rotary has a long stroke, like 4 or 5 millimeters, it hits harder, making it good for both shading and lining. I've seen machines where you can adjust the stroke, making them pretty versatile, but let's not dive into that now. There are nuances there too. At this stage, don't worry too much about it. Just get a machine that fits your budget and works with cartridges. This could be a pen or a rotary like my Cheyenne, which has a grip and a rotary motor. Using cartridges really simplifies and speeds up your workflow. It's super convenient for quickly switching needles for different tasks without having to constantly reassemble your machine like you would with the induction machines. As for cartridges, I personally prefer 2 brands. Quadrone for fine lines because their thin needles have a fine tip, the needle doesn't wobble, and repeated strokes pack closely together. For shading, I think Cheyenne's Magnums lay softer shadows. Even with cartridges of the same specs, I feel Quadrone's pixels come out chunkier, whereas Cheyenne's aren't as effective for lining. This is just my opinion. Sometimes I'll try a needle from a colleague for fun, but I stick to these brands regularly. Switching isn't necessary because these cartridges meet all my needs. I also recommend investing in higher quality needles. Yes, they're more expensive, but they save you time and nerves, allowing you to focus on improving your skills without dealing with random issues. Avoid super cheap needles. Good quality needles are crucial for the final result. Saving a bit of money will cost you in quality. And remember, in the beginning, your technique won't be perfect. Everyone starts off with shaky hands. Add crappy needles to the mix, and you can imagine the results. With poor results, it's hard to know if it's you or the bad equipment to blame. So, invest in good needles to give yourself the best chance of success. For those of you seriously considering a career in tattoo art, I invite invite you to join our online tattoo school, where you can learn at your own pace. We'll share secrets, knowledge, and experience we've accumulated over many years. We'll help you find a style and training schedule that suits you. To book a consultation, just comment below or reach out through the contact info in the video description. Either I or one of my assistants will get back to you. Also, I want to highlight that we are official partners of Tattoo Stars, a massive tattoo community and mobile app. Here you can find renowned tattoo artists, studios, shops, and equipment manufacturers from around the world. All our graduates get free lifetime access to all premium features of the app, which will help you find clients right from the start of your career and save you a ton on advertising for years to come. For all other viewers, we have a special bonus, a promo code that will boost your profile to the top in the Tattoo Stars app for 30 days and give you free entry into online tattoo battles during that time. I'll leave the promo code and links in the video description. Now, moving on. If we don't consider wireless machines, you'll need power equipment, a power supply, a cable, and a foot pedal. The cable and jack will depend on your machine's output. And as for the power supply, I personally use one from Critical. It's been with me for a long time and works just fine. There are many variations, so you can choose the one you like. They all function pretty much the same way. I'd suggest not overpaying, but also avoiding the super cheap ones. Go for something mid-range in price because the expensive ones are often overpriced, and the very cheap ones won't last more than 6 months. Plus, they can cause problems while you work. Overheating, voltage spikes, and making your machine run inconsistently. It'll stress you out, and it's just not worth it. When it comes to supplies, like petroleum jelly, foams, oils, soaps, and all that stuff used during the tattoo process, I've tried various products. Recently, I've moved away from petroleum jelly and started using oils because they make the process more comfortable. Oils don't clog the cartridge as much, allow the skin to breathe, and many of them help reduce inflammation during the tattooing process. You'll figure out what works best for you through practice. The same goes for other supplies like stencil gels, soaps, healing films. Try what's available in your area and find what works best for you. Whether you use soap or foam during the process is also up to you. Both work well, but foam is more convenient since you don't have to mix anything and it's always ready to use. Personally, I use foam to clean the skin during the process. As for ink, I use Allegory for line work because it has a good pigment concentration and is liquid, which makes it easy to stay under the skin and keeps the lines black. For shading and color work, I use world-famous ink sets. They have a wide palette, and I've never had clients with allergic reactions to their inks. Right now, I can't say there's any ink brand that's completely terrible. I've tried many, including Intense and Eternal, and they all work well. When it comes to things like ink caps or barrier film, there's no magic to it. Just get what's available on the market. It all pretty much comes from the same place. In conclusion, the most expensive equipment isn't always the best, and the cheapest gear probably won't impress you with its quality. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I'll do my best to answer. Also, let me know in the comments what topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. I'll definitely take your suggestions into account. And remember, never give up. You've got this. I believe in you. See you next time.